The infinite food trap is back in Grounded 2. I have tested this out and it actually does work. You may remember me posting videos about this on the first game. You could capture aphids and weevils in it. Currently, it's only going to work with weevils, and I'll explain that in just a second. What I want to do is quickly show you how to build it. So I booted up a creative world here. I'm going to show you how to build it. Then I'm going to jump over to my survival world where I've been testing it out and show you exactly how it works. If you find this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing for more content just like this. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find an area where generally weevils traverse through. So this is right by the first ranger outpost. You want a flat area that's pretty open that you know that weevils are going to come through, because that's going to probably give you the most bang for your buck. So this is normally where people build houses. I know what I did in my survival world was I actually moved it so that I could build this trap here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down a couple of walls, and you can build this out of whatever you really want to. I normally do it out of weed stems just because they kind of look nicer. You want to kind of just put it in the open area here so you have room to build around it. And it only needs to be a half a wall high for this build because the bugs are not going to be able to actually eat the food off of it. So you're going to place basically a one tile wide here. Then you're going to put a floor on top of it. You can build a floor out of whatever you want. Do that. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to place down a floor, just the blueprint. Now, since I'm in creative here, it's going to automatically build them, but you're just going to place the blueprints all the way around it in a square like that. And the reason you want to do that is because you now want to place roof pieces. I prefer the clover roof pieces. That's what I've always used. They've always worked. You're going to put these up against this and just kind of clip it to the outside where it would normally go. You're not going to need these floors in the middle. They're going to actually get deleted, and they would be your blueprints anyway. So we're going to put these across here like this. Do the same thing on this side. And then one more time. Copy that over here. Put that across, and you're good to go there. Now, for the corner pieces, I like to do the roof square corner because it kind of fills it in. So you can just do that on each one of the corners here. It'll keep them inside and not let them, they basically just won't get out, right? So just do this on all four sides. And we're going to try to squeeze that one in there. Hopefully it works. Yeah, there we go. We got it. And then we're just going to delete this. Like I said, if these are just blueprints for you, you won't have to worry about deleting them, but we're going to delete these because obviously we don't need this, because the whole goal of this is to have the weevils walk inside of here, and you basically just capture them. That way you can get infinite food from them, or you can actually try to farm their gold card, get weevil noses, whatever you need from them. On the inside, you're going to want to put half walls. I always do this to keep the weevils from actually sneaking through and getting stuck underneath there. Then it's much harder to kill them. Again, I prefer to do the wheat stem walls here. So we'll put that there, and we'll just do this all the way around real quick. This is pretty much going to be the build for it, right? Now, if it's a little bit too high like that, depending on where you build it, you can actually put them underneath if you want to. It really shouldn't matter, but you never know. If it's just a little too high, they might get stuck underneath there. So that's essentially the build. Now, in the first game, what I did was I would just drop mushrooms, mushroom slurry, or for the aphids, I would drop the plant slurry. And what I found as towards the end, like if you built it only a half a tile high or even one tile high, they would actually eat it. So what I tried to test out here was, instead of doing that, I actually used the garden patch, because what the garden patch does is it lets you plant mushrooms, and the mushrooms are what attracts the weevils. And this is also going to allow you to not have to worry about the mushrooms despawning, because the mushrooms don't despawn inside the garden patch. So you're going to put the garden patch up here. So you just want it right there in the center. Then you can just go grab any one of these mushrooms here. You only really need one. Go over here, plant the mushroom, and you're good to go. If you want to put fertilizer on it to make them big, you can do that. And then essentially what happens is this is going to attract weevils. So let me jump over to my survival world. I'm going to show you what it looks like in action, and I'm also going to explain to you what you need to do to make sure the weevils don't escape, or in the case of what looks like's happening is they just like literally just get out even though the walls are still there. So let's hop over to my survival world. All right, I hopped over to my main survival save, and as you can see, I have the infinite food trap built right here. What I did was I moved my house from down there to over to here. And there's actually mushrooms over here. Is this guy getting attracted to these? It looks like he might be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these down, because the weevils are attracted to pretty much any mushroom. They can't eat these mushrooms. They can only eat the little white ones. So if there's any mushrooms like this close by, it's probably best to destroy them. I don't know if it's 100% necessary. It definitely wasn't in the first game, but we're going to destroy these because this guy might end up wandering down here. We'll see what happens later on. I wanted to tell you a couple of things to look out for, though. Number one, the inside, like I said, you need to block it all off, because otherwise they can get stuck underneath there. You definitely don't want that to happen. Number two, when I built this, I put in the mushroom and I put in fertilizer. So the fertilizer I put in there was going to be the rotten food. That gives it a chance to turn into this big mushroom here. And what that does is the weevils cannot actually eat it. Now, I don't know if they can eat the little white ones, but I can tell you there was a little white one right here, and now it's gone. So you can see this guy here. He seems to be stuck on this piece of grass. Let's break this real quick. See if he actually walks in there. He should walk into it because weevils are not scared by us like the aphids are. And you'll see he's going to walk in there exactly like he's supposed to. Here comes another one. Couple of things I want to mention, though. Compared to the first game, it doesn't seem to get as many of them as the first game did. Now, this guy, oh, he's in. Okay, perfect. The first game, I literally could build something like this, and within a couple of in-game hours, I could have 20 aphids in it or weevils. Like, it was just crazy how many I could get in there. This seems to be less, and it could just depend on the RNG of the bug spawning in, where you build it exactly, and also the age of your world. This is my world that I played pre-release. So this is the one I got. This is the world I created when I was reviewing the game before early access. And this world has a lot of time in it. And it seems like the longer you play on a save, the weirder some of the bug spawns get. If you load into a brand new save and come out to here, you're going to notice there's going to be a ton of weevils around here. So the earlier you build it, the more you might get inside of there. But there are a couple of things I noticed that if you want to get the maximum benefit out of this, unfortunately, one thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to stay really close by. I tested this out. I'm going to test it out now and see if it actually works. I can see the weevils in there, right? There's 2 of them in here. Sometimes when I walk away, when I come back, they're gone. I don't know if it's because they're despawning, which I don't think is happening. I don't think they're clipping through the train. I think what's happening is if I get far enough away, the walls and the roof pieces here, literally just the game, I don't know what the right word is, de-renders them, unrenders them. They basically disappear. And then when you get close back, they reappear. So what ends up happening is the weevils can just walk through them because they don't exist. Because the bugs don't despawn, and the garden actually won't despawn either. So you can see there's 2 of them in there now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk pretty far away just to see what happens. Now, this was something that changed in the first game. In the first game, what happened was when I originally built this thing and it tried it out, I didn't even have to be really that close by. I could sleep, and I would wake up in the morning, and the thing would be completely full of aphids and weevils. Now what happens is, like, if you sleep and there's something in there, almost guaranteed it's going to be gone, like, the next day. And then coming this far away, more likely than not, they're not going to be in there. And it's not because they could have escaped, because they clearly cannot get out. You could see they were fully jailed in there. There's no way they could get out. I think what happens is the walls disappear as we walk away. And then when they get close enough, they basically reappear in the game as where they're supposed to be. So we're going to walk back over here and see if they're back in there. In any case, if you basically just turn this on and sit here and stay nearby, you should get a bunch of them in there. It's going to give you it'll give you weevil roast. You can see these guys are still in there. So maybe I wasn't far enough away, but I would recommend, like I said, if you want to get as many in here as possible and not lose them, stay close by. So that's why I built it right here. It's on a flat area, open area. I can essentially just stand here and let the game run. I did test this with the toadstools. It didn't seem to work. So I think it needs to be the small white mushrooms. I guess I could do some more testing, but I know for 100% that it works with put the little white mushrooms in, put the fertilizer in, put 5 of them in there. At least one of them is almost guaranteed to turn out to be the bigger one. And you'll know immediately, like within a few seconds, you'll see if it's like a big cluster of them, it's going to be a big one or a small one. So you'll know you can actually just chop it down and put another one up if you really need to. But anyway, this is going to be the way to get them. Just stay close by and it should work out for you. If they add the ability in the future for us to be able to attract aphids or any other creatures that they might add in the future that are harmless, I will make sure to update this and test it out and see if we can get those as well. Anyway, if you found the video helpful, make sure to hit the like button. Consider subscribing for more content just like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.